The hardest part of finishing any task is starting it. Before we begin working, our brain automatically focuses on the most difficult, unclear, or uncomfortable part of the task. Because of this, the work immediately feels heavy and overwhelming. As a result, we start procrastinating and shifting our attention to anything else. Suddenly, replying to messages feels urgent. Then we want to listen to music, make some tea, or do something completely unrelated. In short, we don't feel ready. We believe we lack motivation. Minutes pass, hours pass, sometimes days or even an entire week goes by. And because we are waiting to feel prepared, no real progress happens. Here is the uncomfortable truth. If you keep waiting for motivation, nothing will change. You have probably heard the phrase, starting is half the job. I would go even further and say that starting is 80% of the job. The reason is simple. Once we begin working, a powerful psychological process starts in our brain. This process is known as the Zeigarnik Effect. The Zeigarnik Effect was discovered in the 20th century by psychologist Zeigarnik. Its core idea is that people remember unfinished tasks much better than completed ones. When we start something but do not finish it, our brain experiences tension and discomfort. The task stays in our head and demands attention until it is completed. This is why, after starting, we naturally focus more, think about the task more often, and feel an inner push to finish what we began. You can see this effect clearly in everyday life. For example, television series often end each episode at the most exciting moment. This creates discomfort and makes us impatiently wait for the next episode. We constantly think about what will happen next. Work functions in exactly the same way. Once we start, our brain does not want to leave the task unfinished. Interestingly, after completing the work, we often think, it wasn't actually as hard as I imagined. This happens because the hardest part was not the work itself, but the decision to begin. Once we started, the Zeigarnik Effect helped us stay focused and motivated. So the real question is how we can force ourselves to start when we feel no motivation at all. One effective approach is to use a simple countdown. When you notice yourself procrastinating, count backward from 5 to 0, and at 0, take immediate action. Stand up, open your laptop, turn on the microphone, or take the very first physical step toward the task. Backward counting works because we associate it with action and finality. After 0, there is no continuation, only movement. Another powerful strategy is to reduce the task to 3 extremely easy steps. These steps should be so simple that they do not cause fear or resistance. You allow yourself to do only these 3 steps and nothing more. After completing them, you give yourself complete freedom to stop. The key is honesty. If you truly want to stop, you stop. However, in most cases, once the first 3 steps are done, continuing feels natural. Starting the next step no longer seems difficult, and the task begins to pull you in. There is also a method based on deadlines, but not the usual ones. Instead of waiting for external pressure, you create it yourself. You schedule a meeting, presentation, or conversation with someone whose opinion matters to you. This meeting becomes your deadline. Canceling it would feel uncomfortable, and showing up unprepared would feel even worse. As a result, you have no choice but to start working. The deadline becomes real, even though you created it yourself. Many people worry that they might not finish on time, but experience shows that when there is no way out, we almost always find a solution. In situations where the pressure is high, the brain becomes incredibly efficient. Distractions disappear, focus increases, and memory works better. The brain looks for the shortest and most effective path to the goal. The truth is that our brain is far more capable than we think. Sometimes, instead of waiting to feel ready, we need to trust it and take the first step. Once we begin, the work no longer feels impossible. Starting changes everything.